What's up, guys? Season 2, Talk About It. Michael here. Today we're going to be joined by Troy Clymer with Balance Claims.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What's up, guys? We're back again. It's Talk About It, Season 2, and we are joined, as I mentioned, by Troy Clymer with Balance Claims. Troy, thanks for joining us today. Looking forward to chatting with you.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me. We're super excited to be here, kicking off Season 2 of Taco About It. And after the road show we just did, that was great that CompanyCam put on. It's so nice to come into the season here and have this venue to share some good information with all of our co-clients and prospects.
Absolutely. So anytime I can have tacos and talk to my friends in the industry, it's a good day. But I was especially excited for this. You and I are pretty good friends. I came and visited last year, and I'm assuming, unless you let me down, you've got some Chris's tacos over there. Would that be the truth here? Got you right in the middle of a bite there. Chris's for the win. Awesome. So I've got Qdoba. This season, Troy, we've got a mystery sauce that we're doing over here. So I've got my Qdoba tacos. I'm going to throw a little of the mystery sauce on here. I'm going to give that a try. While I'm trying that mystery sauce, why don't you tell everyone that's not familiar with you, maybe just your background in the industry and how you landed with Balance and started Balance Up, and we'll kind of go from there.
Good question. So, first off, we love Talk About It Tuesday because Michael's been here to visit our office a lot, and there's a world famous taco place right across the street from our office called Chris's. And so I've got a rick of Chris's tacos. So for those who aren't familiar, again, my name is Troy Clymer. I'm the COO, CFO, and co-founder of Balance Claims. We've been in business 6 years now. We originally started as a brand called Solutions for Insurance Consulting in 2013. And then in 2015, we rebranded to Balance. So we operate under a number of DBAs, Balance Claims, and the Balance Marketplace, which is really growing right now. I come from outside the space. For those that don't know, my business partner, Eric Hepler, who's our CEO, and I have worked together for going on 20 years now. We come from big conglomerated global HR software. We were in senior leadership for a lot of sales organizations there. We had a mutual friend who was a student of mine in an MBA class that I was teaching, whose father was a second-generation roofing contractor in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Balance Claims is headquartered here in Indianapolis. So since then, we've grown considerably. We're now the largest third-party administrator in the United States for contractors. We're pushing 40 W-2 employees at this point. We've got a little over 7,000 square feet of brick and mortar office space here in Indianapolis, where over 30 of our 40 employees work at every day. So we're a centralized corporation here. We've got a very structured management and leadership organization, top down, with C-level staff, senior managers, middle managers, and then departments. And we do a lot of things that are in the vein of business process outsourcing for contractors. That includes Xactimate and Symbility estimating for any type of property casualty line, exterior, water, fire, anything, really. We've got you covered. We do a ton of commercial estimating as well. We work with a lot of public adjusting firms and law firms in the country, and we boast over 500 contractor clients at the current. Makes us the largest, most significant player in this space. We also work very closely with a lot of our, what people would call competitors that we look like as friends, some of the other top 5 players in our niche. And so we get into all kinds of business process outsourcing services for contractors, whether it's systems recommendations, management consulting, or different administrative projects around their front office and back office. We really do it all. We're kind of a one-stop of America's services company for contractors. That led us to working very closely with our partners at CompanyCam and several other of the leading vendors in the space 3 years ago to create the Catalyst Group. So in addition to leading Balance, I'm also the elected president of the board at the Catalyst Group, which has become the most affluent and really kind of public nonprofit for this industry. And it has 40 of the leading brands, CompanyCam, Balance, even one of our great competitors, SFY, is in that. And our mantras have the top 2 best of breed services providers to contractors at every niche of the space. In addition to that, I'm a board advisor at the American Policyholder Association. I'm quite involved there with Doug Quinn and Heather Shafter of their team. And my role on that board is to function really as kind of the chief operating board advisor there. So I do a lot of advising there, but we're really here and grateful to be a part of Talk About It Tuesday in the second iteration, and looking forward to just answering a lot of questions that can help people understand how they can set up an internal supplementing department, how they can work with an outsourcer like Balance, what's the right balance there, and what are some things you need to consider in your business roadmap-wise, growth-wise, that indicate what you should be doing in course of handling your files.
Perfect. So I think that's a great spot to mention. As we're going through this, if you guys have questions, you can either comment below or email us marketing@companycam.com. And then we will make sure we get all of those questions answered on our last episode of Talk About It. We'll go live. We'll make sure we get the answers and we'll get those to you. Also, if you comment below or email us, Troy over at Balance, they've got a lot of great supplementing information and materials. We'll get those shared over as well. And so comment, email us. And Troy, awesome first answer. The one thing that I love listening to you talk. The one thing I think that you guys do really well is communicate the need for that in-house estimating supplementing department, which is, it's kind of crazy to think, that's what you guys do. You are that employee for the contractor and you do those things. Why is it important that the contractor have an in-house supplementing and estimating department?
It's mission critical that clients in the contracting space that are working with Balance or any other outsourced third-party administrator or business process outsourcer to help you with your file administration have an in-house capacity. So what we like to say at Balance, if we're seeing all of your files and you're a mature company, that can be a problem. A majority of the companies that we work with, we coach them, and we have a lot of partners we use. For instance, I want to mention my good friend John Dye, who is also here in Indianapolis. We work really closely with John. He'll be in our office later this week. He puts on a great class to help you set up your internal supplementing department. And those of you who see me talk, I do a lot of talking at large conferences and smaller events like the CompanyCam Highway to Hail Roadshow. And I'm always preaching and teaching people what you can do to set up your own in-house estimating and supplementing department. Doing it in-house doesn't mean you have to do it all, but you should be doing some percentage of that in-house. Typically at Balance, a healthy balance, no pun intended, is we're handling 40 to 60% of your workload. Now that changes as you go through the life cycle of your company. If you're a brand new organization and you're very small, and you need to focus on sales the first year or 2 seasons to get things launched, it might be important to outsource a much larger, almost 100% of that. We have a lot of clients that do that. And then as they go through your life cycle with us, most of our clients at Balance, we're over 500 clients now. We do business in 47 states. It was 42 last year. And we've got capacity to handle 10,000 residential claims and another 3,000 to 4,000 commercial claims on top of that, which makes us far and away the largest in the space. But what we're doing with all of our customers is teaching them how to set up their own internal supplementing department and then providing them training and resources. So if you see a lot of my posts around Facebook, I've got one I use a lot right now. It's Free Knowledge and Expertise, and it's got links to videos, white papers, and presentations that we produce, and we're producing them monthly. So I'd encourage you, if you're watching this, to visit Balance's website. So you can get a hold of us at www.balanceclaims.com. We've got a blog link in the top right, and it's really a university of all kinds of information that can help you set this up in your own company and then work better with an outsourcer of your choice, because there should be a healthy balance there. And it helps tremendously if you're using Balance Claims or somebody like us, that we have a main liaison inside of your company that's not just the owner or your sales team, because they have other things to do. Manage your clients, sell, build, bill. And it's very frustrating to them when they have to do all their own supplements. Some like to do that, and you should have a resource in your company that at least has good facility with Xactimate, so they can tweak some line items. Because if you send a file to Balance, a lot of our larger clients will send us dozens of files a week or hundreds a month. We're going to kick some percentage of those back to you and say, hey, you can handle this one on your own. There's not enough meat on the bone here to justify paying our fees to do it for you. So just make these couple of changes and then final invoice the insurance carrier and get those supplements done at that time. And what we're really saying is you can do this yourself, and we want to train you how to do that. That's very important. What we find is people seem to think it's black or white. And there's a lot of people out there and mixed messaging on LinkedIn or Facebook. And I understand everybody wants to sell their product or services. But what we try to do at Balance is do it right? And not always be pushing you. If we're not the right fit for you, we are going to escort you over to somebody that is. It's our friend that competes with us in the space. We manage relationships with the top, what we consider 5 best other companies that do what we do. Or we're going to educate you on how to set it up yourself. But as your company grows, in the beginning, you might need to outsource almost everything so you can focus on selling and getting revenue. As it matures, you should bring some portion of that in-house and have an administrative resource that can handle the basic things. And you should have somebody in your organization has good facility with Xactimate or Symbility, those estimating platforms. Then as you go through the growth curve again, it's important you get to another area where you need to outsource more again, and maybe especially your newer people who aren't as experienced. You're hiring green bean sales reps that need to focus on building their client base and selling. So you want them to be able to outsource, but some of your more mature reps might want their supplements handled some percentage in-house. So what we do is we learn what your profile is as a client. At Balance, we're doing business with well over 500 clients. And so what we've got is clients that fall into this bucket of being some of the largest contracting companies in the absolute world, really. And they're outsourcing typically 40 or 60% to us. So we deal with the who's who of the largest in the nation, right? And then we have tier 2, tier 3, and then our tier 4, our smaller contractors. And so we're very dynamic and honest in how we work with you. But there's a lot of resources on our website, on our blog at www.balanceclaims.com. You can email us at success@balanceclaims.com or call us at 888-618-0367. We've got 30 W-2s in our office and another 10 that work throughout the country. We're going to give you very honest feedback. Our number one goal is to educate the marketplace, and that's why we formed the Catalyst Group with great companies like CompanyCam. So you've got this mechanism, and I don't want to get off of Balance, but you've got this mechanism in the Catalyst Group, and you can check that out at thecatalystgroup.co. That is 40 of the best vendors in this space working together to educate contractors on how they can improve, run their businesses, and get the best tools in place for them in an honest, non-intimidating, non-salesy environment.
Absolutely. So perfect time right here, Troy. Great answer there. I'm going to grab some more water. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Troy Clymer and Balance Claims.
Let's talk about it.
Hey guys, remember, we want to hear from you. Either comment below with any questions or comments, or email us marketing@companycam.com. We're going to select a few lucky winners with some custom Talk About It Season 2 hot sauce. Comment now.
Let's talk about it.
What's up, guys? We're back with Troy and Balance Claims. Got the water I needed here. The mystery sauce this week was actually really good. So we don't need to talk about that. Troy, let's dive in a little bit. And you made mention about the 40 to 60% of the files, end up at balance. Obviously, a storm rolls in. I'm guessing that percentage goes up. Would you say, like, this typical file that comes through, what do you guys typically see as far as a return or an increase on those files?
That's a good question. So we've been in business going on 6 years now, and our average ROI across all that time is 431%. So for every dollar a company invests with balance, we're going to give you $430 back. It's a little bit higher this year. In 2019, there's been a lot of storm activity. It's close to 500, right? And obviously that's over a body of work. So we do a lot of marketing of our actual workload on Facebook. So I'm looking at one today. And so this is a very small residential file where the original RCV was $7,657. We were able to secure a supplement of $4,620 on that. So that's a little above average. And so that file came back as an approved RCV at $12,278. So that's a 60% file increase. Just to highlight another one from last week, and we put this out on Facebook too. Here's another one that even went a little better than that. Yeah, it's a little larger file where the original RCV was $22,983. It's an all-state claim. And we were able to add a $23,000 supplement to that. So the approved RCV came all the way up to $46,282. That's a file increase of 101%. So I wanted to give you a little bit of both sides. Our average file increase at balance. Now keep in mind, we do file administration. We're not public adjusters. Public adjusting wise, we partner very closely with Premier Claims. They're a nationwide public adjusting partner. We do a lot of work and great friends with a lot of the other PA firms as well, C3 Group, etc. And we partner with all the main lawyers in the space. So the thing about balance is we're vertically integrated. And with the Catalyst Group, we have access and are working very closely with companies like CompanyCam on a daily basis. But the average file increase that you're going to see from balance on a residential file, if it's roof only, is $2,850, give or take. If it's all exterior components, roof, siding, gutters, etc., that comes up to about $3,500 on average. So the ROI average that you'll see over a body of work with us about a 400% ROI, right? So we do knock the cover off the ball sometimes, and then some files are harder, and etc. But those are the averages. Our turnaround time is very fast at Balance. We are the largest at what we do staff-wise. So we've got a dedicated estimating department, and all our employees are W-2s in a brick and mortar office. That's a big difference between Balance and some other companies that say, hey, we're supplementing companies. It's not just a couple of guys working out of their basement here. It's an actual corporate brick and mortar headquarters with 30 W-2s in it. And then we have 10 people around the country that are estimators and supplementers that can get out into different geographies and do their work. But everybody that works for us is a W-2 employee. That makes a huge difference. So when you're talking about percentages and averages, what you really want to look at is the customer service. Okay, so I see a lot of stuff on Facebook. And, our industry is the most viral vertical market on Facebook. And I see all these posts, which is, hey, I need a supplement guy. You need to really consider what you're wanting when you say that, okay? Having an in-house supplementing department be your only means to an end is a very poor decision in my case. You need to have somebody in-house that can do some percentage of it, but it's not sustainable. Those people get overloaded. They leave, something happens, it's inconsistent. The value of outsourcing is we're a 40-person company that's consistent and it never changes. We're handling the human capital for you. Here's a good example. We have a long-term client of ours, Stay Dry. They've been a client for 3 years, right? They used us for the first 2 years in their business. They had to outsource everything because they were focusing on sales. In the third year, they thought, oh, we're going to bring supplementing in-house and hire someone. They hired a person. They did good for 6 months. They got overwhelmed. They quit. They hired another person. It messed up their whole workflow. What they did at the end of the year, when they looked at the numbers, through doing it all in-house, they lost $117,000 more than outsourcing it to Balance. They immediately turned back around this year. Balance does all their file work. They handle about 30% in-house with their liaison. That's the coordinator that's handing stuff back and forth. So when you look at a hybrid model, there's some great white papers on our website. But what you need to understand is, where are you in the growth curve of your company? Where are you going? How much staff do you have? Usually the internal person is the coordinator, main point of contact between our account managers, because with Balance, you'll have a dedicated account manager. And they're the ones who are doing your billing. We do not do your final invoicing for you. We do not send in your COCs. I think it's very important for roofing companies to do that themselves. We allow you to focus on selling, building, billing. We communicate with you every step of the way right inside your systems. So CompanyCam's a good example. If you're a contracting company and you have a CRM like a Job Nimbus or an AccuLynx or a Job Progress or other, you have a measurement account, whatever it may be, Eagle View, Hover, Roof Scope, you have a CompanyCam account. You want to set Balance up as a user inside those accounts. They work so closely with us. They comp your user for us to be in there. And we really do all the administrative work for you. That's the real value. What we found out is it's not just the return we can get you on 1 or 3 supplements. It's having a partner like Balance that's been in business long enough, has the scale, the systems, the processes to take hundreds of files off your hand in the course of a year and consistently manage them all to a standard and give you high customer service. So when people ask me what we do, I never answer, oh, we're an estimating or supplementing company. What we are is a customer service organization for general contractors that gives you a business process outsource to handle all of the administrative workload around your files. So all you have to do is sell, build, and bill. And because we work in your systems, we feel very much like the staff members that are just around the corner and down the hallway. And then when you send us files that you should handle internally, we're going to send those back to you with free management consulting on what you need to do to just handle it yourself, free of charge.
Absolutely. So a couple of things I gleaned from your answer there. To me, it sounds like having somebody in-house that can kind of, if nothing else, coordinate the file handoff between company or contracting company and Balance claims is vital. Deciding, hey, these are files that need to go over to Balance. And then you talked about turnaround time and increase. And obviously, those are two things that Balance is kind of knocking the cover off the ball. What would you say is something that I, as a contractor, could do to make it so that the turnaround time's as low as possible and that the increase is as high as possible? Are there things out there that the contractors could be doing to maybe make those things lower in terms of turnaround time and higher in increase?
This is a great question, and this is what we work with our contractor clients the most on the front end or implementation when they join Balance. The most important thing is having a complete file, whether you're doing it in-house or externally. Now, keep in mind that Balance, we're working in your systems. So our users are right inside your CRM or in your CompanyCam. So you just tag us on a file, and we're going to go extract everything out of Job Nimbus or AccuLynx or whatever. If you don't have a CRM, we're going to do it with you through email and through Dropbox or Google Drive, which is a little more clunky, but it does work. So what you can do as a contractor to be very well organized and speed things up on your end, if you're doing it in-house or if you're using an outsourcer like Balance, is have the complete file. What that includes is if there's coverage already committed from the carrier, whether it's a partial coverage or the whole kit caboodle, water, fire, exterior, doesn't matter. what we call the OG RCV. We want that, and you should have that, right? If it's a denied claim, that is a file that needs to go to a public adjuster or appraisal. Balance typically does not get involved in denied claims. So I want to couch this by mentioning that, right? So if coverage has been committed, we want that OG RCV. In addition to that, we want all of your scope notes for the job, right? We provide you with a great document package that has a punch list and an exterior and interior damage survey. It's very important that that get filled out and completed, or if you're using technology like iRoofing or some other thing that helps you with that accuracy, we want that report. And then we want your story. You know, in that, and I'm doing these in a prioritized order, in that, the third most important thing is managing the relationship with the property owner, whether it's commercial or residential, okay? Because you want to help them understand why you need to collect all this data and why sometimes the insurance carrier might miss things. Now, don't talk to them about their policy, just talk about the construction principles of the job. And then the most important thing you can do is take a lot of photos, right? Documentation of the loss is the most important thing that an outsourced company wants to help get your estimate built and get it supplemented. And if you're doing it in-house, it is very important. The answer to how many questions you want to take is always more. Now, listen, I want to interject here. We put out a lot of information about this, right? So balance claims, as well as several of our partners, are working together to educate the marketplace on how to effectively use CompanyCam, which is the gospel for taking photos, okay? At Balance, we force CompanyCam on our clients, and you know that. If you're one of our 500 clients out there, when you came on and you got that welcome letter from us, bullet point number 5 says you have to use CompanyCam, and if you're not set up, we give you 30 days for free. And then CompanyCam followed up to get you set up and trained, okay? We want you using CompanyCam because what it allows you to do is take a plethora of photos that you can annotate, use some of their augmented reality to do some light measurement, and then it organizes them up into the cloud into a job file that you can just share with us. Because when we create your estimate, we're also going to create a photo report from CompanyCam. And Michael and I have been doing just a lot of teaching the last 2 weeks on Facebook about this. You know, people are asking, how do I submit my photos to the carrier? You know, they don't want your, 80 JPEGs, right? And it's hard to embed them. And so there's a function in CompanyCam that you can one click and it produces a photo report. At Balance, when we produce a forensic Xactimate estimate, we do it in your brand look and feel. So we do it as if we are Stay Dry, right? Everything we do is as if we're you. We're just an administrative outsource. We're not adjusters, okay? So what we're doing is producing this estimate along with a coinciding photo report. And all of the supplements and codes and everything we're putting in there that we need to supplement for correspond to that photo report. And we submit them both. That's a best practice. So you always want to have as many pictures as possible. We have a photo guide that's very simple that helps you through that. 2 of our other Catalyst Group partners, CompanyCam and Job Nimbus, just recently put out a great article about this. It's all over Facebook right now. We've been resharing it. It's called 5 Ways Technology Can Improve Your Business. And what it does is it highlights very specifically the types of photos that you need to take and why. So it's super important that you understand the why, because if you don't know the why, you can't educate your project managers and sales reps on taking the photos. So, taking photos of the job site and which ones to take and why. If you want to look at Balance Claims' Facebook page and see this article, it was published by us on May 23rd, something that CompanyCam and Job Nimbus worked to put together. It is a very good article. We contributed our photo checklist to them so they'd know what photos to take. But if you don't help your sales team and your project managers understand the why, they won't take the photos, okay? So it goes through each photo and then why you need it for supplementing. Again, it was posted on May 23rd. You can find it from Job Nimbus, CompanyCam, and Balance all over Facebook. And so getting into those photos, and we don't have time to dig into each one and why now, but in addition to that, we also need whatever agreement you have between you and the property owner. Now, you need to have whatever lawyer in your state review your contract agreements. I'm not a lawyer. I get asked this question all the time. The debate between contingency and hard contract, it's different state to state. But whatever your agreement is between you and that homeowner, we need that, right? Because we're acting on your behalf. Our 10-person in-house supplementing department are making phone calls all day, and they're representing themselves as Trevor or Sarah or Emily or Brian for your company, okay? So we also need to submit whatever sub-bids that you have, okay? So the big thing with general contractors right now, some of the hot topics are DMO versus RFG on labor crews and pricing, decking, right? Again, photos, photos, photos. And back to photos, you need pre-production photos, you need during production photos, and you need post-production photos. Absolutely critical, because expert supplementers in-house or a firm like Balance, we are going to supplement before the file, during the job, and after the job. And back to the importance on what I mentioned second of managing your homeowner, you need to help them understand why they might be receiving multiple checks and why you're taking all these pictures, because you want to make sure things are done right, and help them understand that that money that's coming is your money and that you're going to then have to come and collect it from them, but it's going to come out in a few checks. So those sub bids on the back end, if there's copper work, window work, HVAC work, electrician work, something happened to an outbuilding or a fence, and you're the general contractor, you need to coordinate all those trades, but we need to submit your redacted sub bids to the insurance carrier, or you should be doing this in-house, to show them that you're acting as the GC, and that demonstrates the complexity of the claim, the coordination of the multiple trades, and then coupling that with prepping your homeowner and having them a good understanding. You can provide them with the Xactimate white paper on what general contractors' overhead and profit is, but they as the homeowner are entitled to overhead and profit, okay? And so if you can win them on your side, they can write a letter to their adjuster explaining that they want that overhead and profit to be paid to you. That really helps your or your supplementing company's ability to get that overhead and profit paid. Typically, it'll come out as a third supplement on the back end of the file, right? So there's a few other things that are state dependent in there that might be a part of the claim that you need. Of course, the measurements. However you're doing your measurements, at Balance, we recommend Eagle View, but we also work with all the other measurement providers, whether they be Hover, Beacon 3D, Roof Scope, whatever, so long as it's a good measurement product. And then so we're going to bottle all those things up and submit that file to the carrier on your behalf, follow up ethically and compliantly in whatever your state is. That's very important. If you're a stormer and you're handling your supplementing in-house, you need to investigate the compliance landscape of the different states that you're operating in and make sure you're following the law. I want to put a quick shameless plug in here for the American American Policyholder Association. I'm on the board there, and I want to encourage everybody to get involved there because they're fighting for a lot of these regulations to be fair on the side of the contractor, and they seek to criminally reduce fraud perpetrated by the insurance carriers and their third-party administrators, because fraud goes both ways. We know that. We stand against all types of fraud, whether it's committed by the policyholder, whether it's committed by a contractor, whether it's committed by an insurer or their third-party administrator. But if you go to www.apassociation.org, you can get signed up. If you're a policyholder, you can sign up for free. If you're a contractor, you need to sign up for a professional membership and get involved. It's $84 a month. So those things are very important. And then you can talk about that at the door with your homeowner if you're in the APA and tell them that's why you're going to do such a thorough job of taking all these pictures, is to make sure nothing is missed by the insurer, and that you're able to turn in a complete file for the construction job.
You bet. You bet. Great answer. I know you made the joke about not being a lawyer, Troy, but you could definitely give any of the lawyers I've met a run for their money on long-winded. You like to talk. Guys, this was great information. We will go live with Troy again sometime this summer. We're going to do a webinar with balance claims. We'll really dive into the why on all those photos. So it'll basically just be a why should I be taking these photos? So look for that, and then look for this fall a roadshow with Balance and CompanyCam and a couple of our other partners. We're going to go on a little roadshow for the insurance claim end of things. So look for those coming soon. Again, Troy, thanks for joining us today. If you do have questions or want any of the information, either comment below or email us marketing@companycam.com. If not, we'll see you next week with another round of Talk About It Season 2. Thanks, everyone.
Let's talk about it.